Today we're going to be making a dish with potatoes and some leftover ham. I like to call this cheesy scalloped potatoes. So I have some of these potatoes parboiling for about 6 to 7 minutes right behind me, and those are the ones that we're actually going to use. And I've cubed up some leftover ham. We had a spiral ham. I cut off the exterior because sometimes that can be a little bit chewy. And so you can see it's about 2 cups of ham. And we're going to use maybe 2 to 3 potatoes. I have a feeling it's going to be closer to 2. And just so that we make sure we get our greens in there, we're going to put in some frozen peas as well. Now, I'll be showing you in just a minute how we're going to make the sauce and how we're going to put this all together. So I'll be right back. So let me show you what I'm doing here. I am sweating out my onions. I added in a little bit of olive oil, a little salt, and this is about 2 medium-sized onions. That should be plenty for our casserole. In just a few moments, we're going to make a roux using butter and flour. So we have about 3 tablespoons of butter. We're going to use equal parts flour. All right. In just a minute, we're going to start mandolining or using our mandolin for our potatoes, and we'll show you how that works. Welcome back for the love of foods. We have our mandolin out, and what we're going to do is we're going to be very careful about this. Try and pay attention to the mandolin and not the camera. But we're going to be slicing these potatoes that were par-cooked to about this thickness, so you can see it there. And what we're going to do is we're going to just slice these up and layer them right in our dish. So we're going to do 1 layer at a time. Just want to kind of give you the idea of what we're going to do so you don't have to watch me do the whole process. Pan. I decided, since my onions were already sweated out, why not use the same pan, because it's got all that nice oniony flavor in there. It'll only add to that. So I switched out the pan on you. All right, so to our melted butter, which was about 3 tablespoons, we're going to add in equal parts of flour. We're going to stir that around and let that cook up and make what we would call a roux. So I'm going to do a little less just until I know for sure. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding in our milk, and we're going to be adding in also some of the heavy cream. So just to give you an idea of what we did, we used approximately a cup and a half of milk and a half a cup of heavy cream. And so here we are mixing our roux, right? We're making our roux and cooking out that flour with that butter, right? Because we don't want a flour taste in our food. Nobody likes the taste of flour until it's cooked down. So this will help our food be thick, and as you can see, it has a consistency of, it's like almost becoming dough-like. As you can see, we're still cooking this down, stirring it up, keeping it together. If we had poured it all in at once, we would have run the risk of breaking the roux. We don't want to break the roux. That means it would all start to become separate ingredients. See, like that, like how it's like all separate ingredients. We want this to cook together. And then once we have this, we're going to add in our cheese. And that will become our cheese sauce that we can put over the potatoes. So here we go. Sounds fancy, but it really is just a term that's used in saucing to make things thick and creamy, using flour and butter, and in this case, milk and cream. All right, now see how that's nice and creamy? That's going to be wonderful over our potatoes. while I'm thinking of it, I might as well go ahead and preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And that way we can get that going. So once we assemble everything, we can pop it in the oven and cook it up. All right, so just before I add my cheese, I want to put a little bit of flavor in this. So I'm going to put some garlic salt and some pepper. And if you're a person who measures, I'm going to say that this is about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. Depends on your taste. We like garlic in my house, so I went a little heavier. And I'm also going to put in black pepper, because I think black pepper should be in everything. Now, typically, I also tell you to put salt in everything, don't I? But this time, we're not. And the reason that we're not going to do that is because we have the cheese and we have the ham, which is in itself quite salty. What I'm going to do rather is let the people who are tasting this dish add in their own salt. But I did add in about a quarter teaspoon of paprika, and I will put that paprika as well on the top once we have this all layered in. All right, so let's go ahead and put my cheese in here. I have about 2 cups of cheese. And so if you remember, we started with 2 cups of milk as well. So it's going to be about equal parts cheese and milk. Again, to taste. You decide if you like it with more cheese or with less cheese. I'm going to go back to mandolining and I'm going to get everything ready so we can assemble this dish. Thanks. All right, we're back. So we're going to start working with our ingredients here and start layering them. So what I've done is I've put butter in the bottom of my pan, added in those potatoes. We're going to do a nice layer of onions on the top of those potatoes. We're going to add in some of our ham. And we're going to add in some of our green onions and some of our peas. At the end, I'm just going to pour it all over the top of the end. I believe it will go through very nicely. And let's go ahead and just do another layer of potato. We do, after that, another layer of the onion. Fit them all in there so we have a nice layer. Do some more onion. There we go. More of our ham. So that's our green onion. We want to kind of make them even so we know that someone gets something in every bite, the same thing in every bite so that we're consistent. Some of our peas. And again, if you don't like peas, that's okay. Don't use them. Use something else. You could use green beans. If you don't like the onion, that's okay too. And then what I'm going to do before I put my last layer on is I'm going to go ahead and pour this nice sauce that we just made all over the top. Making sure we get every drop of that nice cheesy sauce. This pan is pretty full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some onions on the top. I'm going to put some ham on the top. Because what we're going to do is we're going to bake this for about 40 minutes covered and then just uncover it a little bit. And so I'm just going to make this look pretty and call it a day. So if I want, I can sprinkle a little more cheese. I left some of the cheese out rather than putting it on the sauce. So maybe that'll get crispy on the top. And see how beautiful that's coming together? And again, remember, I like pepper on everything. And especially on the top of things because that'll make it look really nice. And also, paprika is a browning agent, so we're going to put some paprika on the top so that we get a nice crisp layer. And don't worry, these potatoes did not go to waste because now we'll have hash browns or home fries, as they're called, this weekend for breakfast. So there we have it. There's our dish.